Adventures with Purpose is an underwater search and rescue team that has solved 21 cold cases since 2019, when they started searching for missing people and their vehicles in bodies of water. They offer their services for free to families of people who are missing and may be in the water. Check out their YouTube channel to see how you can help. Hey everybody, welcome to True Crime Paranormal with the Psychic Sisters. I'm Christy Brower, here with my sister, co-host, and partner in crime, Katie Weaver. Hey Katie.
Hey everybody, how's it going?
It's going pretty great. How are you doing?
I'm good. I mean, it did snow a skift last night, so I'm a little off put on that, but other than that, really
I'm
just
choosing to
fine.
see that as a short-lived anomaly that we're not going to see any more of.
Yes. Amen.
I mean, will that really be true? We don't effing know in this state, but I'm not counting it because it lasted only briefly.
Mm-hmm. I will say though, I've spent the morning doing housework with the assistance of two tiny puppies, which is
Yikes.
assistance not. However, it's
Yeah.
great company. So, do I have anything to complain about? How could I with these two around, really?
Seems like a win-win, really.
Yeah. However, they're terrible at doing the dishes. I'll just put that out there.
Yeah, I bet they are not the best at the dishes.
Mm-hmm.
That's funny. Mine, our dishwasher is broken, but when it wasn't, my dogs were terrible about when you were trying to load the dishwasher, they were trying to wash the dishes for you.
Mm-hmm.
And they
The pigs are bad for that too. Really bad
Uh-huh.
for that. Yeah. However, my dishwasher is also broken. It's not broken. It just does a bad job.
Well, ours too. Like
Yeah.
such a bad job that we consider it now deceased.
A relic. Yeah, mine
Yeah.
too. Yeah.
Well, anyway, this is our Monday episode. You can tell
Yes, it
we
is.
are a little random today.
Dishwasher crimes.
Yes. Oh, going down a rabbit hole after these shows.
Yikes. It's probably horrible. Oh no.
Probably don't want to know. Well, I think you're kicking us off with a little bit of Florida Man, aren't you?
Yes, I am.
All right.
Well, for once in our lives, this is Florida Man without the, oh, Florida Man.
Really?
This is better. This man here, his name is Thomas Raynard James. And Thomas Raynard James was just released from prison. A Miami judge vacated a life sentence that he had. He has served 32 years of a life sentence for a murder that he did not commit.
Oh, my God. 32 years?
32 years. He has spent nearly his entire adult life behind bars. He had goals
terrifying.
and dreams and plans for his future.
Right.
That never came into fruition. He has been sitting in prison trying to prove his innocence for 32 years, as well as his family.
Oh, no.
His attorney is a woman named Natalie Figures, and Natalie has been unstoppable. She has worked extremely hard. This was a case, believe it or not, of mistaken identity.
What?
Mm-hmm.
That got him a life sentence?
Mm-hmm.
How can that be?
Because of a witness. A witness who admitted later she muffed up. And because of a shared name.
Oh my God, there's got to be checks and balances for that kind of thing. Holy crap.
Yeah. Yeah. All of the evidence showed it wasn't him, but he just didn't have great representation. And his face showed up. So when he was 22, he was charged in the 1990 murder of Frances McKinnon. And a witness, Dorothy Walton, said that she saw him fatally shoot Francis during a robbery. Well, the person she saw. So here's what the prosecutor said. What appears to be a chance coincidence that the defendant, Thomas Raynard James, had the same name as a suspect named by witnesses and anonymous tipsters, led to the defendant's photograph being included in a lineup and set in motion a mistaken identity. A mistaken identity that put a man in prison for 32 years.
Right. I mean, so they identified him?
Yeah. The witness pulled his face out of a photograph lineup and said, "That's him." And he had the same name, so they went, "That's him." And his public defender went, "I don't give a." So there you go. And it's taken all of this time to prove that there was absolutely no way he could have, would have, or did commit this crime. So Florida, you screwed up as usual, but you finally got it right. So all the best to Thomas and his family in trying to put a life together now. And bro, I hope you sue for millions.
Please do. Please set yourself up for life. You, Seth, most certainly deserve that. Wow.
Yep.
That is terrifying.
It is. It is. A mistaken identity? With a life sentence? It was a life sentence. He was never getting out of there.
Yikes. God. That is terrifying.
It is. Luckily, he's out. So thank God for him and his family. So I'm going to kick the mic back over to you in our astonishment over this one for our main case.
Okay. You know, we cover a lot of missing persons cases on this show. People that have been missing for years, sometimes decades, that maybe are never going to be found. And, you know, you think about the anguish that causes for a family, for someone to just disappear forever with no knowledge about what's happened to them. Mm-hmm. It's terrifying. And there is an organization out of Bend, Oregon, that is doing something about that. And these guys are just remarkable, I think. Yes. They are called Adventures with Purpose. Mm-hmm. And Adventures with Purpose is a underwater search and rescue team that sort of just accidentally happened upon solving some missing persons cases. And when I say some, they have solved 21 missing persons cases since 2019. Yeah. So this started out with a guy that just wanted, he's a diver. He loves diving. He started diving and cleaning up trash. And if he found belongings that belonged to people, he would return them to them. And it was sort of this idea of, you know, like conservation and taking good care of the earth. And that's how it all started with him. Mm-hmm. But then he started finding cars in water, in lakes, rivers, the ocean. And started, you know, kind of got with a recovery, like towing service, to help him get the cars out of the water. Like, those shouldn't be in there. Yeah. Well, in one of those cars was a person who had been missing for several years. He recovered a body by accident. And when that happened, he had already had requests from people who had missing family members. Like, hey, if you're doing this kind of thing, can you look for my mom who's been missing for 25 years or whatever. You know, he had all of these different people reaching out to him, and he was like, I don't know how I could afford it. I don't know what I could do. Well, after finding that first missing person, he and his team of friends that were doing this together decided that this was a really important job. Yes. This was a purpose for them, something that they should be doing in a way that they should be giving back to the community. Yeah. So they have a YouTube channel and a website, and those are both in our show notes so that you can see them. Mm-hmm. And their organization is called Adventures with Purpose. And they now, for free, go looking in bodies of water for people who are missing.
Yeah.
So if there's somebody that, they've gone missing in a car and the car has never turned up,
Yeah.
people think maybe they're in a body of water.
Yeah.
They
If the
will
route they were
go,
taking kind of makes sense that they could be in water. Yeah.
yeah, they will go looking for them.
Mm-hmm.
And the crazy thing about it is that they are freaking finding them. Jared Lesick is the founder of Adventures with Purpose, but he's got a bunch of people that are working with him now, and they do these documentaries on their YouTube channel about all of these experiences that they have been having.
Yeah.
I'm going to share a couple of pictures here of missing posters that have now been updated. Sorry, my slider does not want to slide. That's weird. Okay, here we go. Here's one. This is Nathaniel Ashby,
Mm-hmm.
and he went missing in 2019. Here's a picture of his vehicle. They pulled it out of a body of water, and his body was in the truck.
Yeah.
And then there's this one. This is, I can't read the name. I can't remember what it is. This is another one. They found it's Ethan something, and they pulled this little car out of this little body of water, and he was in it.
Yeah.
It's just been amazing. And, one of the things that they talk about is that they aren't limited like law enforcement is. Law enforcement can only go looking in water if they have evidence that they are in the water.
Mm-hmm.
These guys, any public land, they can go in there anytime they want.
Sure.
And if it's private, all they have to do is just get permission from the owner.
Yeah.
And all they do is they go down there, they identify, if they're looking for a specific car, they'll look for the make and model, they'll look for the license plate number. Once they find the vehicle, then they call 911.
Yeah.
And then the police, so that evidence can be preserved and all that stuff. But they generally will know, is there a body? They can see that there's someone in the car. They can, identify the license plate number and the make and the model of the car, the color, those kinds of things, so that they can call the police and say, we have found the vehicle of so-and-so. Can you come and investigate? And then they will pull the body, or they'll pull the vehicle out of the water.
Mm-hmm.
And, so all of these families that have been missing people for many years are getting their family members found. They're using sonar. It is. It's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
They're using sonar, and they've kind of taught themselves how to identify vehicles. So they can tell when looking at the sonar what a vehicle looks like. That will give them an idea of where to go. So they use the sonar on the top of the water. When they find what looks like a vehicle, then the dive team goes down to see what they can find.
Yeah.
So let's see. I wanted to tell you about this most recent one. So in May of 2020 is when they found their first, or when they found the first one they were actually looking for.
Yeah.
It was a silver Mazda 6. The driver was Timothy Robinson. He'd been missing for 12 years.
Oh.
And they found his car in the Willamette River in Milwaukee, Oregon. And that's when they discovered that, then the requests just started rolling in.
Yeah.
In September and October of 2020, they kind of did a road trip, and they found 3 cars with 3 bodies in them.
Unreal.
Isn't that crazy? So what they do is they have a monetized YouTube channel, and they also have merch, all kinds of merch. And so they have a huge following that buys their merch and watches their videos and stuff. And that's how they pay for these recoveries. Sometimes they get reward money also.
I would hope so. They would absolutely deserve that.
The most recent one, though, there was a $100,000 reward, and it had expired, so they didn't get it. But there's been some shitty stuff. But, I don't understand why, law enforcement can't see someone like this as a partner rather than,
right.
And I'm not saying that all of law enforcement doesn't appreciate them. That isn't true, but they should have got that reward.
They should have gotten that reward.
That's not okay. They put so much time and money and effort into this.
Mm-hmm. And
Um,
rewards like that make it possible for them to do more.
right. They
They
can do
should
this.
get every reward.
And if
Yeah.
you have a missing family member that could be in a body of water, you
Mhm.
can contact them through their website and they will come help you find them. It is
Mhm.
just crazy.
Oh, I can't even imagine the list of cases they have to sort through, and probably some of them aren't that credible, and lots of them
Right. They want
are,
to take
but
some that, there's a real possibility that they could be in a body of water because it's a lot to travel to where they are going, all over. So,
with all their
um,
gear and everything too. It's not just like
yeah,
flying in. You've got a lot of stuff that has to go.
right.
Yeah.
Their equipment and boat and
My
all
God, the
that
amount of
stuff.
peace they are bringing families
It is amazing
and
what they're bringing
also
people.
potentially solving crimes because you
Well,
don't
right,
know why was that person in that car. I mean, a lot
right.
of times it probably is just,
A
you know,
suicide or an accident.
yeah, or a drunk
But
driving event,
yeah,
but occasionally they probably do come across somebody or will come across somebody who was killed in that car, murdered in that
right,
car.
right,
Yeah.
exactly. So, one pretty recently, this is Stephanie Torres. She went missing in December of 2017 in Central Texas.
Okay.
And some of the viewers of Adventures with Purpose suggested this case. So they reached out to Stephanie's daughter, Bianca, and she was like, "Oh yeah, I know about you guys. I watch your videos." And they asked her, like, "Why have you not reached out to us and asked us to find your mom?" And she said, "Well, nobody really seems to care about my mom, so I just didn't know if you would
Oh,
either." And that just really kind of broke their hearts. So they went to Waco, Texas, and started their search. This was in January of this year.
mhm.
Um, this was at the east boat launch of the Brazos Valley, and their search took less than an hour.
Yeah.
And they found Stephanie inside of her 2006 blue Kia. They went down, a diver went down, identified the car. It's definitely her. There was no question about that. And they did confirm that there were human remains in the car. So the family is right there. Like you
Yeah.
can watch this on their YouTube channel. It's really interesting.
You
Family's
should.
right there. Yeah, you
Yeah.
should definitely. They it's really emotional,
Oh my goodness. And the
the
way they
family's right
interact
there
with
and
the families
oh, they're
is
so
so
sweet.
kind. Yeah, it's so sweet. It's so careful.
It
It's
is.
so careful. That's one of the things I really appreciated is they were
Yeah.
like, "Okay, we found a car, but we don't know that it's hers yet." And then
Hmm.
it came back, "Okay, this is a blue Kia.
Yeah.
Um, we don't know yet if she's inside. Let's be really cautious." And
Yeah.
they were just very, very careful with
They
them to
were.
not get their hopes up, to not be gross.
Yeah,
Just all
no,
of
it
it. I'm
was
so touched by the way they acted with the families.
yeah,
Yeah.
this has become like a mission for these guys. They
Yeah.
all are saying that if they never do anything else with their lives but continue to do this, they've
Mhm.
fulfilled their mission to humanity.
I hope
And
they can afford to because
yeah,
this is so needed.
but they didn't get her reward, which is shitty.
Mhm.
But they called 911, and
Yep.
so of course the authorities come. They pull the car up. It is definitely Stephanie's car, and she is inside the car. And so the family finally gets to lay their loved one to rest.
Wow.
And it at least the peace of mind of knowing where they are
Mhm.
and knowing at least to some extent what happened.
Mhm.
You never get over losing a family member, but to lose
Wow.
somebody in this way and then not know what's happened to them is
Yeah.
so hard and so damaging. And these guys are just doing amazing work. So we wanted to give them props. We've shared their website and their YouTube channel in the show notes. Please go subscribe to them and get involved. You can just by watching their videos, you're helping to fund the work that they do. They sell all kinds of merch. They have a membership you can join on their YouTube channel. Like there's lots of stuff that you can do just by participating with them that will help to continue to fund
Yeah.
these kinds of search and rescue efforts that
Yeah.
clearly bodies of water are absolutely full of cars with bodies in them in this country.
Yeah.
And because they have the freedom to look in a way that law enforcement doesn't, they're going to continue to find them. And they are committed at this point. They will keep this up as long as humanly possible, which I think is amazing. And I hope that it inspires other people that have these kinds of skills and this kind of equipment. You know, it shouldn't have to just be Adventures with Purpose. It'd be great if there's more, and there may be. But the idea that anyone who is missing a family member who thinks they might be in water could have these guys come and look, and that's amazing.
Absolutely amazing. It sure is. Where's that one movie producer that built that little underwater apparatus? Do you remember this little submarine thing, like a little one-man submarine?
Yeah.
They need it. They need it.
Yeah, they do. They do.
Yeah.
Any support that can be given their way with equipment, anything, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, they found Stephanie Torres in less than an hour.
Yeah.
You know, I'm sure that they
also
had
tells you
pretty credible info about where she was.
Exactly. That was too damn easy. Why didn't law enforcement find her a long time ago?
Yeah.
I know. Some of it really pisses me off. I'm thrilled they're doing it and that someone's doing it, but sometimes, wow.
I know. All this money goes into law enforcement in this country, and what's it being used for? Why doesn't the state have stuff like this to go in and look for people in water? I don't know. But
Well,
hey,
a lot
sometimes
of search and rescues do.
Yeah.
That's what I don't get. We have lots of search and rescues. And maybe they don't have the funding and the equipment and the stuff. Maybe they just don't. But at the same time, like with that case particularly, she wasn't lost. She was right freaking here.
She was
right here.
She was. It's the aspect of it being underwater. I think that just is much bigger because, of course, here where we live, all around national parks, of course, we have huge search and rescue presence in our area. But you know what? They don't have to go into water very often. It's almost always up in the mountains. You know, so it's having the equipment and the skills.
Right. They're most likely here on ATVs or snowmobiles.
Right. Yeah.
Not in the water. Yeah.
Not in the water, but in other places, you know. I don't know. I just found this really powerful. So go to adventureswithpurpose.com, go to Adventures with Purpose on YouTube, go follow them, watch their videos, do whatever you can to help support. And also, if you know someone who has a missing loved one who could be in water, hook them up. Let them know about these guys because they are amazing humans and they are doing amazing work. It just makes me really happy that there are people out there using their skills for such a good cause.
Absolutely. So good.
Yeah.
Awesome. I love it.
All right. Well, Katie, I hear you've got a little WTF news for us.
Oh, do I?
Yes.
Do you remember when the Bodies exhibit came to our town?
Yes.
If you all haven't had the opportunity to go to a Bodies exhibit somewhere, you should. It's really interesting.
It is. You may hallucinate being able to smell things that aren't actually there.
It's sobering, but yes.
It is.
Christy's son was certain he could smell the bodies. He couldn't even stay in the building. It was not okay.
And I got it. I was there. You couldn't smell anything, but he was convinced.
My youngest refused to get out of the car and also would not go. I went with my other kids that aren't quite so weird. And it was interesting, to say the least. Well, there was a man a couple of years ago in New Zealand that went to this display in his town. And he thought it was so interesting that he needed a souvenir.
What?
And he harvested 2 toes.
Are you serious? Why would anybody? Oh my Lord, why would you want that?
This happened in Auckland. He stuffed them in his pocket. The article says he pilfered them. Pilfered 2 toes from a preserved corpse.
Well, first he had to break them off, didn't he? I mean, it's a little more than pilfering, I'm afraid.
Yeah.
Holy crap.
He was charged with theft and improperly interfering with the dead body of an unknown person. Yep. But here's what really got me about the article. Each digit or toe was valued at $5,500.
How do you
determine? They were worth $5,500 a piece.
How do you determine that value, I wonder?
I don't really know. I'm not sure how to
Well,
know.
isn't that grand theft then? Well, it would be here in the US because that would be over $10,000. But
Yeah,
I don't know about New Zealand, but that
I
is
don't really know.
really, really creepy.
Uh-huh. It's really something. So at any rate, they did get the toes back, and presumably they were reattached to the foot from whence they came. But he did have charges and did have to go to court for this, though I don't know, exactly what the outcome was. There was nothing about it online. But now you know. If you, I'm just going to put this out here. If you go to a bodies exhibit, don't steal toes or, well, anything else off the bodies.
It seems weird to have to say that, but okay.
It seems to go without saying, but you know,
That's
there,
so gross.
people, there is a souvenir shop for a reason.
Well, you know what's weird is when we had it, everything was behind glass.
Mhm.
Like, how did he get to the toes?
Apparently, there were some bodies that were not behind glass.
Oh, wow. Because ours were, everything was behind glass.
Yeah, I don't think you could have like touched anything.
No,
Yeah,
I'm sure they don't want you to because it would cause them to start to degrade and.
I'm sure I don't want me to be frank,
Uh,
but
no, I'm good, thanks. Looking at them was hard enough.
yeah,
Wow. Well,
it was better than the trip to see the cadavers when I was in high school. But I don't know. Did
yeah.
you ever do?
Ugh,
Did you have to see the
no,
cadavers?
I
Oh
did not.
God.
Thank heavens. But this brings new meaning to one man's trash is another man's treasure.
Yes.
That's so
Oh
gross.
man.
Oy.
Not cool.
Mm-mm.
So there you go.
Wow. Well, I think we've given you a lot to think about today. So this is our Monday episode. We'll be back on Tuesday and Wednesday, and of course, back Wednesday night with our live stream case updates, and Thursday night with the Psychic Hour. I have a very special guest on the Psychic Hour this week, my friend Dr. JJ Kelly. So you're not going to want to miss that.
Yes. And
And
patrons, be sure that you keep an eye on Patreon. We did release
yes,
2 brand new cases last week that
two
were both
brand new cases.
very interesting.
Yes, yeah. So if you're looking for content, you are in the right place.
Yeah.
Well, don't forget to like, subscribe, share, and comment. It does help us to grow. And of course, if you do like Patreon, go over there and join our Patreon. We do 2 extra cases a month over there just for our patrons. And sometimes we pick some real doozies to do over there. You don't want to miss out. If you're kind of a hardcore true crimer, that is a good place for you.
For sure.
Yeah. And you know it. We are True Crime Paranormal with the Psychic Sisters. Thanks for being here.
Take care.
Thank you.